that's nice, Mark. Do you want to play the one with words now? By the way, that groovy vibe with the gorgeous pictures.
Those shots were amazing.
You know, I said to Byron this week, he goes, he's getting married. He's got a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know Byron Goggin, he's chief of photography here. I said, congratulations, brother. Can you just make me some art? Just make me some art. So that's what he sent me.
That's crazy, Charlie.
And then he asked me to write some words to his pictures. And I wrote some words, and Mark fucked it all up.
No, because you know
No,
why?
I did.
No,
I did.
I like that because now we just get to absorb the graphics, and now we can see the graphics with the words. So that's cool.
Don't cover for me.
I'm not covering for you, Mark. You burped on an open mic. I will never cover for you.
I mean, that's like,
it
was a real, it still is. No disrespect to any artists here, but like, I mean, this was a jazz capital. Photography capital, radio capital, music capital. You know, we shrunk a little bit, but we're still here. I think he showed you that.
That's true.
Would you like to see the correct version now?
Yes, dumbass.
All right.
No, that's what I was talking to her. That's Karen Dumbass. This is the Dumbass and LeDuff show.
I have a word for Mark. I'll tell you that after.
No, Mark will let go. Like I told you,
I'm totally
up.
baffled by this now.
Dumbass,
I told you during the first fuck up.
Art that refuses to be spoken over.
And F up. So Mark F up.
I mean, remember we were editing it and we heard whatever.
Yeah,
I
so
fucked
this
it
is
up.
really
I don't know
all
what
on
happened.
you,
I need a new computer. Who do I charge
I'm
for
driving
that?
up north,
It's
listening to your
beautiful.
fuck ups. I mean, I gotta take a shit. God.
I already did on the show.
I know you did. You went in there and took one before the show.
No, I mean I did
It was
right now
very
too.
long. You took a
Oh
long
boy, I'm
time.
ruining
You
the whole
weren't
show. I killed it all.
Go ahead. You did. Show killer. Fucking Mark's.
I'm the worst.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. What? I don't know.
Find it for me.
I'm looking for it.
Dude.
All right.
It's that good.
So should we just? What do we do?
I'm at
Never
a
say
total.
that
I think
out
we're
loud.
supposed to keep talking until he
never say
finds
that
the right
out loud,
one.
Karen.
No. I'm
too.
saying what? No, I'm taking a cue from Charlie. What do you want to do? We can have a conversation. You can go to something else. I'm taking cues from you.
No, I'm gonna let Mark shit himself.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
For the third time?
He's like, come on, man.
He just got a little redder than he was before we
I'm
started.
going right to the source again. So.
Yeah, go right
He's
to
all
the
right.
source.
It'll come
why
up.
didn't you go
But
right to the source in the
those are
beginning?
nice graphics though.
did.
Beautiful. I'd love to see some of those in a still version.
You would?
Like as a photograph. Oh yeah. There is one, I don't know if it was the church or something. Oops, I'm sorry. I thought I had my phone on.
Oh, how unprofessional.
I know
my
that
God,
is the worst.
Everybody's taking advantage of me, man. This is unbelievable.
When I guess I don't know if it was
I
at a
worked so
church
hard,
or something.
You guys show up for an hour and fuck everything up. I got a great show planned.
It's still a
I
great
got a
show,
great show
Charlie.
planned.
It's still a great
Flint
show.
is over. Like we told, it's officially over. It's a fuck up. And we're going to vote for Nessel. I mean, what a disaster she's been. But then what do we have? DePerno, the Republican denialist of like an election. And that guy's like could be arrested by the time election day comes. Who do we vote for? So we decided to look down ticket. We've got Joe McHugh. I think he's going to be here. He's a libertarian candidate. Okay. See what he's about. Search around for a hero.
And that's what people have to do, Charlie. Stop looking at just the immediate options. There are other options. What are those options? Who are those options?
We're going to look, and then I'm still waiting on Mark, and he's over there like.
That's okay.
total loss.
This is good conversation. Don't you think, Ray?
Yeah, I totally agree. For as it comes to who's gonna beat Nessel, I mean, I think it's just pick the least worst of the worst.
But I hear people keep saying that about who they are voting for in this upcoming election, and they're like, yeah, I don't really like this person, but I dislike their competition, more. So the lesser of the two evils.
Candidates probably like Nessel, Whitmer, Benson, looking for a lighter. Except the Republicans gave us a pile of shit. They blew it. And you know what this means, really? Like, I respect you if you like Trump, you voted for Trump, you thought the shit was stolen, but you know what you gave us? Nothing. And we're not going with you. The middle is not going with you. The left is not going with you. This shit gonna be a landslide.
They're still running your commercial too. If you In case you were
A
interested.
ton on Channel 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, they're abusing me, man.
That's
Yeah, they are.
Rocket in pocket is getting back at him.
Well, I mean, but it was a powerful interview, and it drives home their message. I mean, just the exchange.
Isn't that something? Like, Joe Biden is, is complaining about the press, being surly and wanting answers because he won't talk to him, right? And then Whitmer won't give an interview. Nessel refuses to debate. And then Slotkin's people said that, Alyssa Slotkin, it's a very hotly contested seat, her and Tom Barrett. Tom's agreed to come on to debate Slotkin. They're debating right now. And then her camp said they're going to call back. And then he put out a statement today saying it's our last debate, which is, where's like the dignity? Where's the call? How about we're not going to do it. We thank you for the the opportunity. Blah 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 blah. This isn't the way it goes, man.
No, it's not supposed to. And that's, if you remember, I wrote a column about that earlier. In terms of people as an elected official, you don't have the right to say no. People have, they are entitled to know. And it's not private industry where you can say, well, I don't want to talk to you. No. And you can't,
but wait now, but you steal my shit?
And you can't,
you steal my interview?
Yeah, but that's why.
I'm the one that delivered the State House to Whitmer, if these polls are be to believed. I did that. Nothing you did. There's no record to exist upon.
Maybe show off your job, Charlie.
You should with all these. What are you doing, Mark?
texting.
Well, what are you texting?
Ready?
For?
I got this great video ready. I hope third time's the charm.
All right, way to go, guys. Way to go, gal.
Thanks
way
for
to go,
covering
gal.
for me.
Let's see.
Oh, there better be words
I almost
here.
had to
I see
ask Red about
words.
his car.
Please be words.
I see words.
Please be words.
Oh my God, we've got a video. Let's play that.
Everybody's got a history. Most everybody comes from nowhere. In every family, there's a cousin no one wants to admit to. We make stories about such people. Detroiters almost exclusively. Working people, most definitely. The dandies and the swells and the connected people we know say we make stories about losers and less thans. But they're wrong. We make stories about people. Our people. People who live in crowded apartments and ranch houses. People who shovel their own snow. And people who shovel other people's bullshit. People with fat aunties who wear stretch pants with stains on the ass. We don't do stories about people who pay doormen to open their door. We do stories about the doormen. We make stories about the laborer, the dreamer, the hustler, and the immigrant, whether he's a writer from Michigan or a waiter from Michoacan. When the cocktail set tells us they enjoy our cast of losers, we never mind them. We just smile and drink their liquor because they don't know what work is.
You don't have the intro? What the fuck is wrong with
That
you?
was
a really
great.
great piece. Don't let it detract from the good work that piece was.
That was great. I'm almost in tears.
It would have been great.
I'm in tears.
Yeah, but for different reasons.
Because you don't have a spine, man. You blew
Oh,
it
yeah.
out. You blew that out in the car wreck you had.
Look, don't get me fucking started on the car wreck.
That was a complete toss to you. That was
2 fucking months. Listen, first of all, they didn't get the police report right. Second of all, now that I have to argue with the insurance company for damn near a week and a half to get an adjustment, now the collision company is talking up to 2 months before they can even take my goddamn car. Now, I don't understand that when the factories is pumping out these cars, 500 a night and shit on a third shift, killing factory workers. How it takes 2 months to get a bumper and a couple fenders to fix the car. But apparently, production is behind. They can't get parts. I got to ride around in this raggedy-ass looking car, which I worked so hard not to do for years. This is my first new car.
We're going to bring you a little down because Mark apparently likes homoerotic, serial-killing cannibal movies. That thing's everywhere.
I like all serial killer movies. Does that make me a bad person?
No, it doesn't.
Does, man. It's fucking,
It is weird. No, I'll admit it. I like true crime.
it is weird. And when I would sit in with you and Drew, on the podcast, and you guys would like pull up like homoerotic prison weird shit. And I'm like, what am I
don't remember
doing
that.
on this
Now
show?
that's
I don't-
different.
that I don't remember.
That's different. We're
think so.
talking crime.
Unless you're talking about the murderer Richard Speck and
So we will unlock the vault of the knowledge
You don't
of
wanna be-
Mark's
you don't wanna be in
serial
this head.
killer,
Now
dude.
you know why I
we
messed
will do
that
the
up.
Mount Rushmore of serial killers, according to Mark. I'm sure Mark's got a brain.
He got the murder serial killer trading cards at home.
they have those. Let's get them.
He probably got Dahmer's fork.
You know,
I'm gonna buy his glasses.
they're at an encyclopedia of crime. Because I was also intrigued by criminals.
See? Yeah.
I got in trouble once for writing my book report on Al Capone. So I understand a little bit. I think I still have those encyclopedias. I was a kid.
I'm fascinated how the mind works.
Yeah.
So
So
that's what I'm gonna say.
Okay, right on. Okay, well, now, look, this week's rant is brought to you by American Coney Island. Because when I eat wieners, that's where I go. I don't go shopping on the street and bring a guy back and dope him up and then saw him in half and eat his heart and freeze his genitals and shit. I just go to American Coney Island. It's very nice.
that
So this
visual,
week's
just-
rant is brought to you by American Coney Island. So now, what's the old adage say? Your home is your castle. That's the old adage. And that's right, unless you're running for high office in Michigan this election season. If you're seeking a big chair of political power here in the mother of all swing states, then your declared domicile may be little more than a rent-by-the-hour bathhouse where you place a lamp in the window to convince your constituents that you're actually around. With redistricting, it seems like everybody is scrounging for a place to call home. Take Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin, the Democrat who won't call me back. She's battling ethic questions that we broke here on this program since it came to light here on this program that she's renting a condo from a lobbyist contributor with a lease that expires just after Election Day. Rashida Tlaib has moved. This is the Democratic Congresswoman's fourth mailing address in a dozen years by my count. Now, if Tlaib's new constituents in the 12th do not return her to Washington, there's always work at the post office for a person who's got that many addresses committed to memory. Then there's John James, the Republican nominee for the 10th congressional seat in Macomb County, who actually lives in Farmington Hills in the 11th congressional district in Oakland County. Representative Debbie Dingell, a Democrat, departed Dearborn for Ann Arbor. Representative John Molinar, a Republican, motored from Midland all the way across state to a place called Caledonia. Haley Stevens, a Democrat, is expected to announce yet another new address in Oakland County sometime soon. Most spectacular is the odyssey of West Side Republican candidate John Gibbs, who over the past year plots a course from D.C., makes port at his mama's house in Lansing, and eventually sets anchor at a rental property in suburban Grand Rapids. It's all got me spinning, man. And it's also got me thinking. What about the Detroit fixer-upper once owned by Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist? You remember that one. That house was the biggest story of the election cycle 4 years ago after Gretchen Whitmer tagged Gilchrist as her running mate. She said then, "I want someone who's got my back." She obviously knew nothing about his backyard. Gilchrist had bought a fetid and abandoned four-family building in 2006 from the Detroit Land Bank for $13,500. Under the terms of that agreement, he had 6 months to fix it and have it occupied. Otherwise, he had to give it back by law. 2 years later, it was still a rotten wreck. Neighbors accused him then of being a slum speculator. Now, Whitmer and Gilchrist went on to get elected, And instead of repossessing the building, the scandal-plagued land bank allowed Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist to sell it and pocket, wait for this one, $190,000. Nice work if you can get it. Oddly, the property was never publicly listed, and yet an LLC from Miami was willing to pay nearly $200 for a building without walls, wiring, or windows. That LLC, Detroit Renaissance Fund, is essentially a shell company with scant public information, besides the fact that it was organized under Delaware law. The LLC was told it had 6 months to fix and occupy the building, just like Gilchrist. You got 6 months or we're taking it back. That was 4 years ago. Last week, we went there. The building was wide open. No walls, no doors, no nothing. There was evidence that people now use the place to smoke little packets of joint. The property taxes are $1,113.03 in arrears. And while the city's building department did cite the shell company for blight and lack of occupancy this summer, the mayor's hearing board with the mayor's lawyers dismissed the citations just last week. It's weird. It's real weird.
Very.
As does the reason why any rational business person would pay more than 10 times the city's assessed value. And the question goes begging, who put the murky LLC and Lieutenant Governor together in the first place? How did you even know each other? It wasn't even listed. That's weird. 200 large. It's weird. Now, Gilchrist and the principal of the LLC did not provide answers, and I'm still waiting for them. Not that residents of the north side in the Detroit neighborhood need any. You know what Clay Williams told me? He owns 2 houses and a lot in the area. He says the neighborhood is close to downtown, and that should tell you everything. He's gotten a Blizzard of Blight tickets in the last couple months for long grass and lack of aluminum siding on the garage. They want it all, he told me. I feel like I'm being attacked to get me out. Regular people, like we told you in the beginning of this program, regular people. Clay says we don't got those kind of connections. And we don't. And it's got to stop. And we'll be back after a message from our underwriters.
With everything. That's how the cheese fries to go. Ready, set, go, red, go.
Detroit might not make it to the championship, but you can have a little bit of Detroit at your next championship party. American Coney Island, 12 dogs with all the fixings. Air mail special, right to your door. That includes Alaska and Hawaii. AmericanConeyIsland.com. The first, the best, and better than all the rest. And they can't fly either.
Yeah, baby, I'm going to Vegas. They got a Coney store there too. Yeah.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. The top-rated realtors in Michigan have said that our 5-star certified pre-approval is a game changer to the home buying process. Hall Financial's focus on speed and client service allows you to take on the housing market and win. When you're ready to purchase your new home, you need to make Hall Financial your first call. The mortgage company realtors trust and buyers love. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us. CallHallFirst.com.
What's so important? Yeah, you checking texts and shit.
I mean, you know, it buzzes. This is the new era. You look at your phone every 2
It's called
minutes.
Showtime, motherfucker. Turn off your phone. Get this shit fixed.
I know.
God damn, man.
2 months before
Let
I
someone
get
else-
my
Everybody
shit
pretending like they're not getting paid. Can't wait for that special Halloween show. It'll be great.
What is that?
Because Red's going to turn into a bat and fly off the building.
Okay.
You don't
Count
believe
the
it, do you?
red, the bad.
Yeah, I actually do believe it.
The Count Red Bird. All right, let's get to this, right? Okay. As I said earlier, I got to say, I'm sorry. Turn it off, report us. I don't care. Attorney General Dana Nessel sucks. She sucks. I'm gonna give you just a couple things she's fucked up in her 4 years here, and she won't debate. Line 5, right? You lost that one. The Midland Dam. You wouldn't let them drain the water and it exploded, right?
That's funny. Everyone did forget about that one.
Yeah,
sure
Except
did.
up in Midland.
Remember when Whitmer illegally seized the state constitution? She supported it. You lost that one. Mary Lou Simons at Michigan State. Nessel said you were aware what he was doing, and the judge, a very liberal judge, called that case that Nessel brought against Miss Simons a fraud.
Threw it out, yeah.
Threw it out, and no nursing home investigation. But here's the mother of them all. Why is this thing echoing?
It is?
Anybody else is echoing?
Yeah, it is.
It is?
A
Really?
little bit.
Oh,
I think it's just the room. Open that window. Maybe that'll...
no, it
maybe
just
that'll-
started echoing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Do you have the sound in the room outside of the?
No, it's off.
No,
It's okay. We're still growing pains. We're still doing it.
That's fine.
We'll go right through it.
It works.
Okay, but the mother of all motherfuckers here is Flint. As we told you from show 1 to last week, the court finally ruled. All the felony charges have been dropped, and Governor Snyder still has his jaywalking ticket, and the district court must follow suit because the Supreme Court told them everything's dropped. Gone. Why? Because she was so politicized that she fired the investigators that she inherited from Bill Schuette, right? Longtime acquaintances of hers. Didn't understand the case. Tried to do some bullshit. I'm going to remind you of this. Remember the bullshit when they came out and go, we found all these documents in the basement, and I can't believe these documents are in a basement, and they didn't even look at these documents, and okay, hold on, Judge. We need 6 months to go through these documents. The reason you needed 6 months is because you fired the investigator and the prosecutor. You didn't understand the fucking case, and you were faking it. Because you know what was in the boxes? Duplicates of all the stuff she already had. That's all it was. And so when they're faking to a circuit court judge who's been kicked off the bench for sexual advances in inappropriate grabby hands, yeah, Flint's a fucking trip. All right. That judge told Nessel's people, you don't got 6 months. You better get some pizza and some Coca-Cola. You got 6 weeks. So they dropped all the charges. And then they brought the charges back. And the charges were pretty much the same charges as before. Only you didn't know what to do. So instead of having preliminary exams like we're all entitled to in Michigan, you got a one-man grand jury that was not only the investigators, the prosecutor, and he charged them. That separation of power can't do it. They said you can't charge them. Bye. Number 2, Nessel and her band of goofs decided they were going to subpoena everybody, take all their documents without having a team in place like Mar-a-Lago and Trump to see a third party if some of that stuff you seized was attorney-client privilege. It was communications that would taint all the evidence. So now you got to start over.
It's not gonna
All
happen.
over from scratch.
Wait a minute, man. I mean, don't forget. I mean, you go to Flint quite often.
Yeah, I was just up there Tuesday.
I got loved ones in Flint. You've been, it's our neighbors.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
You're right.
Do you remember the baby on Time Magazine with the scabs and everything?
Yeah.
Nothing. And it's an election season now.
And on top of that, Charlie, they have a crime issue that's out of hand.
Yes.
So they're wrangling with both of those. They have nowhere to turn.
House ain't worth shit.
Not worth nothing. The community up there is broke. I've spoken to a couple of homeowners who bought their property before all of this, and they're really upset that their property has taken a dump. The city hasn't come back and did nothing. The state ain't came back and got them hoes.
There's a string of shit following the mayor.
Yeah.
You know, his cronies, bar fights, beating up city councilmen, contracts, garbage contracts, pipe contracts, vehicle contracts. What the fuck? And we got nothing. Okay, I ain't voting that. I'm not voting that. But I cannot vote the Republican nominee, this guy named Matt DePerno. Here we go. Matt DePerno now has a special prosecutor investigating him and his henchmen for stealing voting machines in an effort to corrupt them, to show the world it's possible that the election was swung. Not that you have any hard evidence, but you commandeered illegally, and he said so. He said so in front of many people. We played the tape.
Oh, yeah.
You've said, what the fuck? No, like, come election day, that dude might be in the clink.
Right. His acceptance speech would be from behind bars.
Handcuff on election day. Okay, because, then there's this with this Matt Paterno guy. He was fired from a law firm for padding his expense reports. He, by his own admission, has 3 different cases before the Attorney Grievance Commission. They might strip him of his law license.
So why is he even practicing? Why was he allowed to continue even practice?
He's accused of fraud by an old couple, like in terms of the sale of their home. Like this guy?
Wow.
Election denialist. You might hijack some voting machines, and they might strip you of your law license for a number of fraudulent maneuvers. What the fuck?
Sounds perfect for politics.
Hey, man, you're a Republican in name only. You rhinos.
Yeah.
Okay, if you feel that way, I'm with you. That's cool. Feel your way. But you can't give us this guy. He ain't going to win. You could all vote for him, and he gets 25% of the vote. I ain't voting for that. You voting for that?
No.
You voting for that?
Hell no.
You can't vote for that. Hey, Peanut Gallery, you voting for that? No.
You got to say something. They can't see you shaking your head all at once.
It's pretty much a middle of the road crew, man. You can't win without us, and we don't want this.
Yeah. We don't want what we got, but you sure in the hell ain't giving us nothing else.
There are no options, and that's what puts everybody in a bad position. It's like, well, I don't want to do this, but I really don't want to do that.
So I don't vote.
So I don't vote.
Well, you got to participate. You got to participate in order to have some moral authority.
It's true.
So it's not just 2 parties. There are a lot of parties in Michigan. So we decided we're going to look who's down ballot. The larger minority parties. So there is 4 people running: DePerno, Nessel. Okay, but there's also the United States Taxpayer Party, and who's the nominee for the United States Taxpayer Party? It's a man named Gerald Theodore Van Sickle.
So we're told.
Sickle?
Sort of like Van Winkle.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because this motherfucker must have been sleeping for the last 100 years, because not only does he not have a campaign website, he doesn't even have a photograph of himself on the fucking... It's fake news, fake account, he's a bot. Report him to Elon Musk. He's fake.
And every time you call his phone number, it goes straight to voicemail, which, I mean, who knows? I've never heard his voice, never seen his picture.
Do you know how old he is?
I think he's in his 40s from what I
don't think he exists.
He might. That sounds like a made-up name. Maybe he's made up.
Slickle. I mean... The Taxpayer Party, get your shit together, man. Collect some taxes and get the motherfucker a picture.
Exactly. Yeah.
He running his campaign old school to show you how true he is. He's down at town hall on the soapbox.
That's not happening.
Man, that guy can't even afford a picture, which puts him pretty much in the fundraising area of Tudor Dixon and DePerno and Nutbag Christine Carmano.
Trying to give him an interview. Maybe they can get some notoriety.
You're welcome to come on, sir. Come out of the darkness.
Exist, yeah.
You know who he is?
What?
He is the Zodiac Killer.
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
No picture of the Zodiac Killer. Nobody knows who the Zodiac Killer is.
Right.
That's just a little tease for the Dahmer special coming up later.
I'd vote for him.
Look at that. Yeah, you would.
Zodiac Killer.
Mark, that's creepy.
What?
You know what? Because you know what when he does the fundraising dinners, you know what they serve there? Fava beans and some Chianti. Silence of the Lambs. Good movie.
Great movie.
Okay, so
Great story.
oh,
Based on Ed Gein. I don't know.
Look
Parts
at
of it
him.
are.
I know. Look at him. He's going.
You guys
can't
know
do-
about Ed Gein?
Only time
Ed Gein is a guy from the 50s, killed a couple people, dug up a bunch of other people, and made furniture.
Yeah, he's kind of a poser for a serial killer.
He's a
A poser?
Wow.
he doesn't mean
As people like
Does he
to
kill
point
enough
out,
people?
I think he only killed 2, but he dug up a lot of bodies, so it looked like more. But he's also the influence for Psycho because he cordoned off his mom's house and kept her part untouched after she died. Untouched, so that's where that part from. He's been using. I'm sorry.
You are
digress.
so weird.
We need to have
How much-
our Halloween tales
That's
by
just
Mark.
TMI,
Why is that
bro.
weird?
I just want to know where he get this kind of time to research this shit.
His wife doesn't like him that much.
No one does.
We love you, Mark.
And technically, you're a serial killer after you kill the second person. You kill the first. then
Not
you
in
kill
my
the
book.
second. Okay.
Well, we'll get to that later. We'll ask Mark what exactly serial killer means. By the way, a serial killer, the term was coined by the FBI in the 70s. So when we do our Mount Rushmore of serial killers, we'll go round. It's sort of like segregated baseball. You can't count Babe Ruth as the greatest. You can't have it. It's got to be, like the moment it's all opening. So there was no serial killer before the 70s.
So I need to cross H.H. Holmes.
H.H.
off my
Holmes.
list.
H.H. this guy. H.H. Holmes.
Graduate of the University of Michigan, killed.
I know who he
13.
was.
Yeah, you do.
That was Devil in the White City.
Yes,
Right? That was the
great
book,
book.
best-selling book. That was the Chicago
World's
World
Fair.
Fair, 1893.
And his tricky house with different rooms.
And he had like ducts from the basement that would send gas in there to kill people. He had lime pits.
You guys are scaring me.
I'm just.
He was a
saying.
doctor.
Oh, so he was ducking people before Jeep.
Oh. All right, but we digress. Before we bring our guests on, let me just tell you about ADR. They're overseeing more than $250 million in private and public construction projects since 2001. ADR is competent, reduce your costs, increase your bottom line. ADR save clients millions. ADR consultants are experts in procurement and government compliance. Honest, ethical, smart. Call Barry Ellen Tuck at 248-318-9424 for a consultation. Get the job done right, on time, on budget. ADR 248-318-9424. Legacy Partners, saving me some money. When you watch TV and you're bombarded by insurance ads promising to save you money, but if you really want to save money, you need my new sponsor, Legacy Partners. Yeah, they save me money, bro.
Did they really?
Yeah,
Can they get my car fixed?
With your lumping, I told you,
Get better
with
insurance,
your
yeah.
limping ass car. I told you go to Legacy Partners.
Limping.
You didn't even get your check yet, did you? No.
Nope.
If you were with Legacy, you might have. I've been telling you about how they can help you with Medicare, which they can. Medicare. You're that age. Don't get swindled. My mom's talking to them. And now I'm going to tell you, you can save money on all your insurance needs, your home, your car, your boat, your RV, your motorcycle, your limping ass car at the Normandy Hotel. They're independent. So they shop between 7 and 10 carriers for your insurance to find you the best deal. And I got a really reputable insurance company. I just forget what it is, but I got all the paperwork. My wife's handling it. That's why you have a wife, to handle it. You don't die.
That's
so
a
you eat.
stab.
Yeah, I hear him.
Okay.
Oh, you mean he got divorced?
Well, at least kicked out.
You had to bring that up. I wasn't even.
You brought it
I
up,
didn't- that's
Charlie.
bullshit. I know, dude.
At least you said.
I was
at least
talking about
have
my
a
wife, man. I wasn't talking about nobody white, man. I'd be fucked up. Be talking about somebody white, man. I ain't talking about nobody white. So listen, you get your quote, and you'll be mad that you got the current insurance that you got. Here's what I need you to do: call 586-209-4106. Tell them I sent you. 586-209-4106. The best place to shop for insurance, guaranteed. And finally, Luke
Yeah.
Nowacki.
Oh, great.
Oh, I knew it. I
knew
knew
it.
you
Why
didn't
would I be
have
ready
it.
with that? I had to close everything out.
I knew you didn't have it.
Have what? What are you talking
You're
about?
being docked paid. You will not get your testicle soup tonight.
Darn it.
Lines Associates Inc. Overreactions, not the strategy for the long-term investors. I know what OPEC did today. I know OPEC. I know the Saudis are working with the Russians. I know Sleepy Joe went over and begged a murderer, the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, said we're going to get more oil. Yeah, surprise! We're not getting more oil. We're getting less oil. You know what that means?
Prices go up.
That's going to be stagflation. Stagflation. Economic activity going down. Prices are supposed to go down, but they won't go down because the input, the price of oil is going up. What do? What do you invest in? What if you got a 401k, college plan? What if your shit's sitting in the bank? Should I get go? What should I do? Call Luke. You know, because Luke lives this. Luke will get a strategy tailored to you and your risk threshold. 248-663-4748. Get good advice, get a good strategy. Luke Nowacki at Pinnacle Wealth. 248-663-4748. Man, that was awesome. I'm the only one who came prepared tonight.
Not true. We're prepared, Charlie.
Karen's been prepared.
Okay, Karen, if you're so prepared,
I'm not. Nope.
who's our next guest, Karen?
I know his first name is Joe. I know he represents the Libertarian Party. That's all I know. And he has a really cool backdrop for his frame in his picture.
Excellent prep.
There you go.
Dude named Joe with a background on his Zoom.
Did better than me, Karen. I just would have said a dude in a blazer.
Don't worry. Joe's a libertarian. Joe McHugh. He is the libertarian candidate for Attorney General of Michigan. And if you know anything about libertarians, he don't mind if you got some cocaine, do you, Joe?
Not at all. As a matter
Oh,
of
wow.
fact,
He is liberal.
I'm in the middle of actually about to kill this cereal. So since you guys are talking about some
Serial
serial
killers.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Stick
Jeez.
to the
Oh.
politics, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
That was cute. That was corny, but it was cute.
It was
It was
good, right?
corny,
I mean,
but
come
cute.
That was cornflakes, Karen.
It's granola. It's granola.
Nailed it. You see that? It just walked right into that. All right, listen here, serial killer. Kind of, if you're listening and you can't see, he kind of looks like David Byrne from Talking Heads, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Go
Needs
ahead.
a bigger jacket.
I don't know if he does. Dan.
I think the jacket fits just fine, but yeah, I'll go with it.
No drop.
You want me to play the song? Get us kicked off of streaming?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, hey, Joe.
That was
how
just
do-
my excuse not
How do
to
you
fight.
feel about like if we just play a little like what's your position on copyright law? If we were to play a little Psycho Killer, they'd mute the whole show. What's your feeling on that? Should we be allowed to play that?
Copyright law. I mean, the copyright law is goes back to property law and contract law. So we've got a Fourth Amendment right to property ownership. I think that from a copyright standpoint, you should be able to license something from the owner of whatever it is, and
Keep it tight, man. Come on, make the point. Keep it tight.
It sounds like
Okay, well, if that's the case, then why does Dark Money Democratic Governors Association steal my copyrighted interview with Tudor Dixon, and yet everybody else in this media market's making millions of dollars off of it? Do you promise, if elected, to sue the Democratic Governors Association on behalf of the No Bullshit News Hour?
You know what? We're gonna, if elected, we're gonna sue a lot of people, and we're gonna sue. We're gonna have fun
Litigious,
doing
aren't we?
it, but it won't
Make
necessarily
a
be over
campaign
copyright
promise,
law.
Joe. Make a campaign promise.
All right, real quick now.
I
Like,
promise to sue.
listen,
I
real
promise
quick.
to sue the federal, state, and local level over access to the voting systems. How about that?
Oh, the voting system. Oh man. Okay, wait. Before we get to that, let me see here. Okay, so like, what's your platform? Protect free speech in the vote, right? Like, you're all into the hacking thing.
It's
right?
basically restoring our Bill of Rights is the game plan here.
Okay, wait. It never went anywhere.
Well, it has been actually, as a matter of fact. When you shut down the state and when you tell people what to do and what to wear, where they can go, what they have to put into their bodies,
And nobody
that's a
tell me.
violation
Nobody tell
of
me what
pretty
to
much
wear. Nobody
the
told me what to
pandemic.
wear.
They told you
Had to wear a
you had
mask.
to wear a mask. They told you had to stay 6 feet apart. from
Okay, but
people.
that's over. We're moving forward now. Okay, so look, let's go like this. Here's one you're in. Joe Biden today announced he's going to expunge anybody that got a weed possession conviction. Now he's making it seem like he's letting everybody out of prison that's in prison for weed, for like John Sinclair having a couple doobies on him. There's absolutely nobody in prison for carrying some weed. Nobody, right? So you are for no harm, no foul, no crime, right? So you're saying, what are you saying with that? What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So as a matter of fact,
Keep it tight.
this is one of the few areas where the president and I agree on
Oh.
something. But
Democrat.
yes, it's the right
libertarian.
thing to do. It's the right thing to do to pardon people, to get them out of prison, expunge their records, and even provide back pay for people who are in prison for nonviolent actions that have harmed no other person. It's a Fourth Amendment right to be secure in our person and our property and our facts.
Okay, if I understand your campaign literature, which is very little of it because you're not raising much money either,
No.
you're saying this is applicable for guns, drugs, and sex between consenting adults. Yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
nobody's in prison for sleeping with somebody. There's not one you can't show me.
I just no. And actually, there probably are plenty of people in prison for.
What do you mean, probably?
Soliciting a
What do you mean,
prostitute
probably?
and
Oh, okay, I got that. But here, you're trying to win our vote here. Soliciting a prostitute, fine.
Yep.
You can do that. You could pay for your ass. I mean, I never did. I don't have to. They pay me. I can tell you that story later. It was college. It was cold. I needed a cab.
It goes on in homes across America.
But it goes on, and the point is, it goes on in homes. When it goes on the street, then I got a problem. Because you're creating a nuisance, you're creating a scene, you're creating possible violence, if you know anything about real life. So, I'm with you on that, right? But who's in prison for soliciting a prostitute? You might be in prison for killing a prostitute.
Ask Mark.
I'm not a lawyer.
Mark, did anybody eat a prostitute?
Oh, I'm sure. Well, one of the biggest serial killers of all time killed prostitutes here in Detroit, right? Carl
And
Carl
Highland
Watts.
Park.
Carl Watts.
Yeah.
There you go.
Highland Park.
Let me write that down.
Yeah.
Well done,
I
right?
don't know if he
I do know about
I don't know
that
if he
one.
consumed
Now,
their flesh. He might have
you,
eaten them.
you really missed Charlie's question and the answer. So I'm going to leave that alone.
No,
Go
okay,
ahead.
so listen, you're saying people that have been convicted of drug or gun crimes should be let out of prison?
all nonviolent prisoners should be let out of prison whose actions harmed no other person, because we have a First Amendment right to free action. And there are millions of people across the country and tens of thousands of people in the state of Michigan who are in prison for mere felony possession of a weapon that does not involve actually using the weapon. There are tens of thousands of people in prison for substance use, and we have the right to do that because it doesn't affect anybody else.
Wait. Let me back up here. Before we get back to the substance thing, and you can go ahead, Red, with this, but hold on.
He said, go ahead, hold on.
No, on the substance part. But I'm sorry, man. If that's an illegal gun and you're walking around with it, no. You're gonna do some time. Otherwise, everybody's walking around with an illegal gun.
Waiting for something
we have
to happen.
a Second Amendment right to self-defense and the choice in doing so.
But we also have laws. It's been well. Are you a lawyer, by the way?
I am not a lawyer.
You're not a lawyer.
You do not have to be an attorney to be attorney general. You simply need to understand the Bill of Rights and know how to defend it.
You are a former Marine, a logistics officer.
I'm a Marine Corps logistics officer who swore an oath to support and defend this Constitution of the United States of America and defend the rights of every individual.
Well, you know, it's well settled law that limitations on your Second Amendment right are applicable. So, if you're a felon in possession, no, man, you don't get to carry a gun, even if you didn't use it. If you're carrying an unregistered weapon in this state, you may not. That's constitutional law.
Charlie, have you heard of a guy named Thomas Jefferson?
Thomas Jefferson? Who did he eat?
Yeah. Thomas Jefferson, right? Third president of the United States, wrote the Declaration of Independence. He barely was the
third president of the United States. Right.
You're right. He was elected by Congress after a couple of ballots. But but what happened?
Trying to get that by me, man.
Thomas Jefferson describes liberty as rightful liberty is unobstructed action according to our own will within limits drawn around us by the equal rights of others. And he continues by saying, I do not add within limits of the law, because law is often the tyrant's will and always so when it violates the rights of the individual.
Well, what does that mean? Because we're running over. We're running over because Mark fucked up. Yes, you were here. You were with. What does that mean? Come on, Joe. Make the pitch. Free media. What?
What that means is just because a law has been passed and has been on the books for a number of years does not make it right. We, the people of America, have a right to defend ourselves, whether it's with our fists or with a weapon or with a mask or a vaccine. We get to choose how we want to do it. And
but, sir, you're asking to be the attorney general, so the laws on the books, those are the ones that you enforce.
No, that is not correct.
Whoa,
the attorney general. No. It is the attorney general's responsibility as the chief legal officer to defend the rights of every American.
Man, he sounds like Nestle over here. What?
No, the AG Nestle hasn't done her job. She doesn't enforce the
you got to
rights.
enforce the law.
She's enforced the law, not the rights.
So what one law has she not enforced that you would if you were elected?
The Constitution.
Well, I know. I mean, I want something specific. I
The
mean,
Constitution. I mean, you can't get more specific than
well,
that.
yeah, you can't. I mean, tell me something specific that would resonate with voters. Like, what are you calling Charlie?
Constitutional expert.
Karen,
Yes.
Karen, thank you. I'm happy to do that. Listen, during I know you don't want to talk about the pandemic because it's in the past, but those are prime examples of some of the things that went wrong. People telling people.
We know.
to stay
Wait a
in their
minute,
homes.
because we're on a time crunch. We know that. We're going forward, bro. Okay, wait. I'm pulling up your website here.
Okay, can you still answer my question while you?
What was the question?
My
Everybody help me.
question.
So one specific thing, Karen, you asked for a
Yes.
specific action.
Yes.
Okay.
Tight to
we
keep
have
Charlie happy.
Thank you. Because Mark fucked it
Social
up.
media companies and censored our speech related to a bunch of things, pandemic, election, whatever. It is the job of the Attorney General to sue the social media companies to make sure that we have access to the algorithms. And if that's not possible, then at least the people need to know why it's happening. The voting systems. The voting systems are run by closed.
You're not running for
software.
Secretary of State, bro. You're
We have a first.
Wait a minute. Maybe he'll get. Maybe we won't be shadow banned.
expression.
Maybe we won't be shadow banned if he
You're gonna
wins.
get a shadow ban some more.
We have a First Amendment right to
Yeah, we don't
express
got
our
but just a few clicks left, man. You being on
I
here,
can't even find-
We're gonna
they
be
were
in
gonna-
like deep shadow ban, man. Like we're gonna be like Elon Muskville, man. You're gonna make us worse than Trump, man. I'm gonna have to get on Social Truth or whatever the fuck that is.
Patreon.
I'm going to ask him a question. Why should a private company have to share their algorithm with you, especially when there's competition in social media?
Right. That's where I was at.
Well,
Exactly.
that's a really good question, and that's
Thank
something
you.
that needs to be
Quick,
said.
tight
And-
answer,
and
Joe.
Listen, we may or may not be able to win that because it's a private company, but when companies become utilities, then it changes things. And so, at the very least, that needs to be something that's addressed in the public domain, discussed, and settled. Because things like Facebook and Twitter are borderline utilities at this point. They're the town hall.
That is true. The
That's very
Attorney
true.
General has that power to sue for such description of these companies. That is something we could do. So listen, I just
But can I ask
no.
a question?
Go on here. Hold on.
Sit
just,
there and
just wait for me here, man.
look good.
I pulled up the campaign site. It's good. He's got one because Van Winkle doesn't have one.
Yeah, do you know Van Winkle? Do you know
Yeah, you
Gerald?
ever seen this Rip Van Sickle dude?
Does he
I
exist?
have not met Van Waco. But here, Karen, you asked for an example. Here's another example. It's the AG's. It's the AG's.
Okay, go ahead, Red.
Wait, Joe was answering my question again.
I just want to ask.
He
Joe,
got
do-
one chance. You can't answer
do
him.
you-
We're moving on,
Do you,
man.
do you think that people more concerned about what social media is doing over our attorney general actually going and enforcing laws that's on the books right now, like gun laws and all that other stuff? I mean,
This is not a.
I mean, I just
We're questioning a candidate, and you're like, what do you think is would do? What's your opinion on-
We're dooming his
We're
campaign.
trying to get this guy and find out what he's about. I'm trying to train everybody.
Here's the real issue.
Yeah.
Do you believe in transparency or do you not believe in transparency?
I believe in
Because we have no
transparency.
well, we have no transparency in our government systems right now, whether it's voting systems or economic data or just the way they
Nursing
spend their
home
money and how
deaths.
many
So
things
what
and
would you impose
Agreed, yeah.
to
There's no
ensure that
transparency.
transparency? Is there something that you could do as Attorney General to ensure transparency? What would you do?
Hit him
Yes,
hard. Don't
absolutely.
give him this open-ended.
That's not open-ended.
Well,
What
answer
would
the
you
question,
do?
It's a good question.
Okay, wait a
a good
minute. Let me be
question.
mean about it.
Yeah.
What would you
hold
do?
on. Time out. Karen's gonna be me. Drum roll, Mark. Hit me with the drum roll.
What would you,
gotta
do,
have it.
Joe?
Hold on a minute. Oh, Red, can you turn away from the
I
microphone?
know, I'm
with that
coughing
fucking
here. Got
tuberculosis.
cigarettes and coughing. I'm
That-
leaving. Mark's
I'm gonna call the
burping.
Attorney General in it.
well, she'd lose, so I ain't worried.
Mark, we got it.
All right, go ahead, Joe.
Wait.
He
So
left.
the first thing that I would do is sue at the federal, state, and local level to ensure that all the voting systems run on open source software, because we have a right to see the
you ask
software
about this?
code to make sure that fraud is
no.
not. Yes, she asked about a specific action that what we can do to open it up.
No,
Oh,
so
it's,
that
it's
is-
the
so
voting
this is the
machines
first-
again.
So this is the first question, but
It's,
I just
what? It's not just voting machines. It's anything with the government. Anything with the government needs to be transparent and open to the public because we have a right to know where our money is being spent.
And we need
It's
to know
also-
what's going on with Lafayette Coney Island. It's not open. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Coney Island is a private business, so.
Yeah, that's you think. I don't know if I'd call it a bit. All right, I'm on your website, okay? Because you have one. Van Slickle doesn't. Here we go. Let's see.
does
All
he
right.
know him?
Joseph W.
Let me ask you guys.
McHugh.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Oh,
Let me
wait.
ask you a question.
Whoa,
Joe
okay.
Do you want to? Do you wanna
Open end.
go-
Who are you asking
do you wanna-
specifically? Wait.
Anybody who wants. To
Hey, no, you
answer
ask
the
me. Go
question.
ahead. Ask me. Ask
All
me.
right, Charlie,
Mano
I'll ask
y
you.
mano. That means hand
All
to
right,
hand.
let's do this.
Okay.
Hey,
Now, man
Charlie,
to man
do
means
you
hombre
believe-
a hombre. So you can pick mano
All
or
right,
hombre.
Espanol.
Okay.
Charlie, do you
Dígame,
believe
señor.
that you have a right to understand the laws as they are written without an attorney's interpretation?
Incorrecto.
You don't believe that? You-
It's something like the Bible, bro. It's like, I might know, but maybe I don't know. And I have to talk to the priest.
Okay.
Okay.
A
McHugh,
lawyer would convolute it. So
McHugh from Michigan. This is, okay, here we go. Just pulled it up. This looks good.
Karen and Mark.
Wait,
let me ask
hold
you
on.
guys,
Whoa,
do you
wait,
want to know
whoa.
what the laws mean?
Well,
Shouldn't you be able to understand it?
do we what?
Should you not be able to understand the law? Should they not be
Yeah,
clear,
you
objective,
should be able to understand the law, but the
And mathematics.
But the good and the bad part about the law
that doesn't
is
mean
that,
you give me the answer.
but it's all left to interpretation, and it is, which is why attorneys from two different sides of the same issue can argue the very same law
and you don't
to
need
their
an
benefit.
attorney. And
Yeah,
and
so
you don't need an attorney.
exactly.
And there's a reason the law is inscrutable because it's so hyper specific that there's like every time I see a lawyer, there's like a bunch of books in the back that nobody ever
All
reads.
right. Listen, let's talk about abortion.
No, hey, no. You're the attorney general.
No, that's
No, I'm the fucking
this is
host.
important.
You're the
This is important.
candidate. I'm the host.
no. Here's the reason.
Wait a minute.
The Attorney General's job is to ensure
Simple
the
question,
laws are clear, objective,
sir. Simple question. If Proposal 3 passes,
Yeah.
pretty much abortion in all cases, if elected, will you enforce that letter of the law and leave people alone?
And leave it. Listen, but Proposal 3 doesn't do anything.
was a
to protect
simple
the
question.
child.
Yes
There's
or no?
balance.
It was a simple
And
question. Will
I'm
you?
going to protect. I'm going to protect both the woman's right and the right to life at the end because
Oh,
it's Roe
God,
v. We're going to work to restore Roe v. Wade. This is not the Proposal 3 is not Roe v. Wade. We're gonna
And
work
of
to
course,
restore Roe v.
it's not. But you're the attorney general, and it's not.
For the state of
We're not
Michigan.
electing you to restore it. We're electing you, whatever the law of the land, whatever the Constitution says. Whether I get my priest or to do it on the corner, or you to tell me what it says, whatever it says, that's the law that you're going to enforce. Is this correct?
No, it is not.
Oh my God! An activist attorney general. I don't know.
I'm going to enforce the laws that are in line with our rights according to the Constitution.
Oh, you can't do that, bro.
the ones that are
That
in
is the
line.
job of
You're
the Attorney General.
you're the caretaker. Now, let me
That is the job of the Attorney
I
General.
can't go for that.
Listen, the Supreme Court passed a void for vagueness.
Wait a minute.
doctrine in
Don't try to get it
1946.
all out. I know nobody's giving
It's-
you an interview. They're not going to give you another one if you keep doing this. Let me go to the next thing.
It needs to be said. The law needs to be
I
clear,
know, but you
objective,
don't-
easily understood.
I don't
Say
even.
it.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
I don't
anymore.
either because I want to go here.
I've been lost since the beginning of the interview.
Because you guys aren't sharp like me and Joe are.
Oh,
yeah?
is that what it
I mean,
is?
this is high.
Wait a minute, Mark. Are you following this?
John Wayne Gacy was highly involved in the Democratic Party system in Chicago, Illinois in the 70s. Just thought I'd throw that in there. That's politics.
Wow.
Do you support having 36 teenage boys rotting under your crawl space, sir?
Oh, that's a line too far.
Okay, now here I'm on your campaign site.
You know, and you're asking
Whoa,
specific.
wait,
Go
hold.
ahead.
Whoa.
I mean, just
The
answer
government
question.
thought I was a spy who stole secrets
What?
about 911 being an inside job.
That's transparent.
Sir, do you believe that 911 was an inside job?
Who doesn't know that
Me.
was an inside job?
Me. 100. Now, let's unpack this. I was there, dude. So be real careful with me. Like, this isn't a game. This isn't hijinks. I watched the planes go in. I watched the towers fall. I watched the bodies get pulled. So give me 2 pieces of evidence. Don't go on and on. Be real clear and be real careful. Because I lost friends in that shit. So go ahead.
And almost on cue, he is frozen and gone.
Good.
Oh, wait,
All
is he
right.
back? There he is. He's back.
I think I'm back. That happens a lot.
Oh, because the
Oh,
government
so-
did that. The government was muting you.
I don't
Okay,
know who
so
did
tell
that.
me, bro. I just saw this. Like, you got to be kidding me. That was an inside job.
Yes, of course. I mean, Building 7 didn't collapse on itself.
Building
Yeah, and
Building 7 fucking melted, dude, and of course it collapsed on itself. I
collapsed on itself
fucking
without-
watched it. I watched it.
There was no plane that hit Building 7.
No,
So
but you
how did
want to
it-
know why, man? Because that fucking fire was so hot that it melted
Yeah.
2 big towers, and 7, as you know, is right next to the towers.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And
Okay,
Santa
so
Claus-
like, what about the 2 towers? How's that a fucking inside job? This is almost
Listen,
outrageous.
it's not even really a very sophisticated conspiracy here. I mean, the Bush, Biden, Cheney, Wolfowitz, Rumsfeld, they published a document called the Quadrennial Defense Review.
That's
A
excellent.
Project for the American Century in 1998.
Tell me how this was a fucking inside job. Are you saying planes didn't fly into that building? Are you saying we hired the people to fly the planes in that building? What are you telling me? Remember, I lost friends in that fucker. So tell me.
Yeah,
Remember, I covered that fucking hole for all 365 days. So I know kind of some stuff here. So tell me cleanly.
It was a controlled demolition so that
It's
we
a
can
controlled
upgrade our
demolition.
military. So that we can upgrade our military. And
It was a
move
controlled
to
demolition.
war
You didn't see
Iraq
them.
and
I
Afghanistan
watched.
to seize
I
oil and
watched
opium.
that really balmy September morning. I watched the fucker go into it, and I watched the explosion. And I know that it burned at over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and that fucking metal melted. And I know that those buildings were designed to collapse on themselves. That's how it was designed, because how was he going to get them down after 100 years? What? A controlled demolition? No fucking way, man. No.
Charlie, you wrote the book about Detroit.
I did.
You've seen.
And ain't no
you've
lies
seen
in it.
contr-
And ain't no
You've
conspiracy in it.
seen controlled demolitions in Detroit. You know enough, like anybody else.
Jesus.
Buildings come and implode upon
Jesus,
themselves.
dude.
Controlled demolitions allow.
And it pisses
Steel
me
buildings
off.
do not
It
come to the
pisses
ground.
me off when a bunch of soft motherfuckers think they know what they saw and that this is a game to them. And like, we can diddle with the talk about fucking mass murder. That's 3,000 people. That was no controlled demolition. That was a fucking murder scene. And it wasn't a controlled demolition.
You know what pisses me off, Charlie?
Go
what pisses
on.
me off is sending my brothers and sisters in arms overseas to fight for oil and opium.
Well, I went
instead of
overseas,
terrorists
did you?
that are made up. That pisses me off.
I went overseas with a pen. Did you go overseas with a pen? I didn't like us
I
going
was
over.
I was
to
overseas
Iraq.
with a rifle, Charlie.
Yeah, I went with a pen,
In
dude.
Asia
You
and
did
Africa.
logistics. You
I
did like
logistics,
MREs and shit.
Every Marine is a rifleman. So yes, I
That's
carried a
true.
weapon too.
So I was there with the Marine, 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit, good dudes. There were no WMDs in Iraq. We shouldn't have been there. I was against it from the get. Afghanistan, sure. We had him. We let him go. Yeah, the government's fucked up. The government, there are conspiracies. There is the Patriot Act. There is all that stuff. But for you to predicate it on that shit, well, you lost my vote, dude. Because that I cannot do. That I cannot
You know what I
have
can't?
people spew shit and then pretend like you got evidence. There's no evidence on that, man.
Charlie, you're.
I gotta go.
entitled to
I gotta
your
go for a
opinion,
break. It
but
made
what-
me mad.
But
You
what
gotta go
I'm
ahead.
not going to do is lie.
No, Charlie, don't leave us here.
No, go ahead. It made me too mad.
Okay, go ahead. We're listening, Joe.
Karen, listen. I know why Charlie's upset, and I'm just as upset because I went and served my country and found out that through logic that we sent our troops overseas into harm's way for a lie. And when you go to Afghanistan and they control 90% of the world's opium supply, and the price of heroin falls in the streets
his break is
immediately after our invasion, that's a big problem.
Okay, I heard the heroin. That might all be true. Okay, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Hippie Jesus, do me a favor. Find out if there's a fucking communist or something running for attorney general. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate your time, brother.
Thank you.
Charlie, thank you.
My man. Can't do that.
That was a short break, Charlie.
Can't. I
Very
just,
short.
I can't do this. 150,000 ballots in Detroit were fraudulent, came in at 4 a.m. It's not true. That starts out with Antrim County and their glitch, and they want to find 150, and then they dump it on Detroit. I was there. I did it for you. If you want to say the software was corrupted or whatever, I don't know nothing about that. But I will be back this November working the election again for you, and I ain't buying no bullshit. I know what I see. I know with my eyes. Control fucking demolition, 150,000 ballots. Fuck that shit.
I'm going to be honest. You know, with something like 9/11, you know, conspiracies can float all around. The most important thing was over 3,000 American citizen lives were lost. So at this point, 20-something years later, stop with the conspiracies.
Well,
bottom line.
Again, if 3,000 people's lives were lost, right?
Yeah.
If you got some evidence that the United States government did it, then I'll be the first motherfucker up there hanging them high. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, right.
It'd be
of
the
course.
story of the century.
Yeah.
Fuck the story, man. You
Well, I'm
just you
saying.
just murdered my neighbors and my friends.
Been highly investigated. Yeah.
No. We're not gonna do this bullshit.
Yeah.
If you were there, you could tell me. If you could see those corpses, you could tell me. If you watch it fall, you could tell me. If you could see the shoes in the street, you could tell me. Control fucking demolition. It's a goddamn 747, whatever, 737,
30, yeah.
whatever the fuck, man. Jet fuel burns hot. It melts steel.
It burns continuously. It's not like no.
Come on, I'm looking for something serious.
Yeah.
The fucking world's going to shit. Got young people over here, man. They don't know what their future is. The fucking debt, inflation, no work.
And as Kenneth says on the Facebook, he says, "So we're back to Nestle now." Jeez, which
That's up to you.
Right.
I mean,
that's up to you, bro.
It is, but it's just
But that's
that
what we
illustrates
were
the
talking
point.
about.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about.
Nobody wants to run for this shit. And I know Joe
true.
actually wanted to run for governor, but the libertarians wouldn't have him, so there was nobody running for fucking attorney general, so they gave it to him.
Yeah, but you know.
But at least he's here.
Yeah, no, gets points for that.
At least he's here. Because if you put them all together, let's see you all. You won't do it.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gross.
It's not happening.
The new age of politics ain't about qualification. It's
No, it's
about
not.
it's a popularity contest.
Well, popularity and then distraction and to divert away from it's all emotional. Like, look what this person did. Look what they didn't do. That has nothing to do with what you're bringing to the table. What have you done? What will you do? What can't you do? It's all distraction.
All respect to Joe here. I'm still on his, you can go, libertystrikesback.com. If you don't believe that COVID was an inside job, I'm reading this to believe. He's quoting a commercial from 2015. You guys remember the show The Last Man on Earth?
Oh, great show.
It was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, Will Forte. Mhm.
It was basically like
He was the last man on Earth.
something escapes from a lab. It's a virus, and everybody dies. Okay, so his proof here appears to be, here's a commercial on Fox. The Last Man on Earth. It's the year 2020, 1 year after the virus. So they're telegraphing
That's pretty dumb.
that they're releasing a virus on us.
Why would they tell us?
Now, I'm not a conspiratorial thinking person, but I will say, the epicenter of COVID is Wuhan. And there's some bat market or something. And just down the road There's the Wuhan laboratory of virology, where they're working on COVID specimens. I mean, I don't know. You guys remember COVID? And we're all yelling. I'm a reporter. So a rational reporter would be like, why don't we go ask the laboratory of virology what they might know about this? Jon Stewart even brought it up, and now he's a kook. Where is our answer? Remember Biden he's going to ask the intelligence community to get to the bottom of it. Where's the report?
But you have to challenge things. You have to question things, and nobody challenges or questions anything, and that is the problem. And so people come to their own conclusions. I think we're somewhere in between a balance of what we think we know and what we think didn't really happen.
Well, part of challenging things, though, is accepting ansers.
But that's going to depend on who you accept your answers from.
I got an idea. Let's shadow ban us.
Yeah, that'll fix it.
And that's the thing. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation.
That's part of the game.
But it is, and it is.
It's
part
easy
of the game.
to shadow ban somebody. You know what you do? You just get pay 10 people and report people for being untrue.
Yeah, but
are we anything but true? Every fucking big story coming out of this town, we're doing it.
Yeah, but Charlie, that's the thing. I mean, so we have a lot of information from a lot of different sources. You know, people have a right to question. When you start talking about what's logical and what makes sense, that's all relative. I mean, when you even talk about facts, I mean, it's all up to interpretation. And I think that there should be more questions for a lot more things. I don't think we should just envelop and embrace everything that's passed out to us. I don't.
Well, I think, and I just want to throw this in here, I think once the fact checkers who were supposed to be
don't have any
media
anymore.
and news stop being fact checkers and problem reporters to the people, it left it open, and then the internet mix in didn't help, because now the internet, anybody can put whatever they want out.
Well, but this is the other thing too, and I mean, I think that there's some, like, you know, when the government sees that there is something that is against what they want you to believe, then information starts to come out that that's wrong, that's a conspiracy, that's this, that's that. And that's not necessarily true. I mean, I think at some point you have a right to question and challenge, you know, what they're telling you. I mean, seriously, I do. And I think that for the longest, we haven't questioned enough.
Speaking of serial killers.
Yeah, like Philip Markoff, the Craigslist killer, he used the internet to kill people.
Okay.
I mean, I can keep going.
Okay, Mark.
I'm just trying to segue.
Okay. Great segue.
Great, really was.
Mine. Speaking of serial killers, man, I'm a
He
writer.
used the internet.
I'm a writer.
Did I say
I know. I
anything
hate
about
speaking of, but what were we talking about? The internet? I don't know.
So
It's
listen,
the only internet murder I can think of.
All
Yes.
right.
I mean, that's the kind of the big cultural news is the bring it in, kid. It's my nephew Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Hi, Sam.
What's up, Sam?
I don't know what he's actually studying at the University of Michigan, but he's a senior. But
He's at the University of Michigan.
he's been a columnist there since a freshman,
Yeah,
which is a big honor.
Sam's gonna do great things.
No,
though.
Sam's wondering what the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah, well, so are we,
I'm
Charlie.
like, go to Ukraine, man.
The Unabomber wondered that too when he was at Michigan. Also considered.
Okay, Mark.
The Unabomber.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh,
Sam
wow.
said he was cool.
I don't know about that. Sam, don't run for attorney general.
Maybe he could.
Now Sam and Mark is going to start the serial killers club.
We got 21 Pulitzer Prize winners from the University of Michigan, 7 Nobel laureates, 1 president of the United States,
Bunch of astronauts.
and the Unabomber. And this motherfucker.
H.H.
is- and John Sinclair,
That's
the
balanced.
weed dude, who now gets his record expunged. So that's good.
That's balanced.
John Sinclair never did it.
I think we had a presidential assassin too, right?
I
McKinley.
don't. Look at this guy, Dr. Death.
God, Mark.
We're gonna call you Kadorkian.
I'll wear that.
The great
I'll proudly wear
Kadorkian.
that. Yeah.
I actually, got to drive around with Dr. Death.
Of course you did,
in,
Charlie.
in his new electric vehicle, and it looked like a big giant ovum.
Like the Pope Mobile kind of?
Yeah, it looked exactly like that. And we're driving around. And basically, he didn't care. He just, what is life? You go around, you spin around. There's no lie. There's no God. There's no anything. I mean, what did it matter? And then I said, hey, why don't we take this thing on the freeway? And he says, no, it's too dangerous. And,
But hey,
I said to him, I go, Yeah.
He made
What
Jeffrey
does it matter
Feiger
until
though,
I'm dying?
I said to him, I said, that would be suicide.
but he made Jeffrey Feiger. That was the transition for his career.
It's a big one, yeah.
Yep, sure
Jenny
was.
Jones, yeah.
Yep.
All right, so man, you're into this Netflix series.
Yeah, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Yeah. Mhm.
Why?
I mean,
I'm
I'm not the only one. 54 million people have watched all 10 episodes. It's one of the biggest things Netflix has ever had. I mean, it's really well done. Ryan Murphy, who's done American Horror Story, American Crime Story, the OJ.
It's well done.
It's really well done.
It is.
A little-
I mean, a style like
well-
like homoerotic serial killing cannibalism is really well done. It's really not bedtime viewing.
No, not at all. Well,
Except
neither is,
for
but
Mark.
you know what? Neither is Dateline. Neither is 2020. I mean, they can have
Are
some.
those still on? Are those still on?
I don't think they eat people though. That's the thing.
No, I swear to God, because I started watching it and I'm like, Jeffrey Dahmer. And I Googled it. You know, speaking of those old shows, it was Current Affair, Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, Nancy Glass.
And it had an interview in prison with Jeffrey Dahmer, and he doesn't speak anything like this actor's portraying him to be, which makes me question the whole shit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's some dramatic license. We don't know the conversations he had with his victims either. But it makes
Well, isn't that why we're watching it? I mean, it's a true story, but it's really not a true story.
Is anything?
Look at you.
I can imagine some of the.
I'm just saying, is any story a true story?
I'm going to write that down and send it to Joe McHugh, as he says, not only should we rewrite the law so you can understand them, like, look, motherfucker, you can't stick up a liquor store. That's how it's all going to be rewritten.
But remember,
hey, motherfucker, you can't eat people.
the reporter that broke the story on Jeffrey Dahmer said that there were a lot of inconsistencies, and I do know that there is some entertainment value that has to be inserted into it. But he really had an issue with.
What do you mean inserted into it? That's macabre.
No.
What are you double entendres over?
But they do cover all his crimes. And honestly, I mean, all joking aside, I just find it fascinating how these people can exist among us. And it's rare. I mean, we don't.
What, from Mars?
Do you think
What?
there's one in this room? Would you pick
'cause I
out
think
somebody
it's-
that has
Jesus
those
hit me
capabilities?
for- oh, yeah.
Who would be the serial?
Jesus hippie.
Who would be the serial killer in this room, Mark?
Jesus hippie.
The most normal looking
I
one.
noticed
The most normal looking
people
one?
that
would
write
be
the
Red.
smallest
People who write the smallest.
normally have a lot to
Kirby-
let out.
It's
That'd
either
be
your
Kirby
daughter
and
Jesus hippie.
or my adopted nephew. It's one of them. They're going to
he's
get together. Going to be Bonnie and Monster. We're going to go on an eating spree. Hey, you got a little clip from this?
Yeah, well, this will show you how good it is.
Okay, now we're allowed to use this YouTube and Facebook because it's called commentary.
That's right.
That's fair use. Stealing my interview with Tudor Dixon is not fair use.
He sounds angry.
Yeah, very.
That guy got me all going on the 9/11 shit. Wait, start over. I didn't hear it.
2 plastic bags, and
This is everything they found in his apartment.
Okay.
there was a human head in his refrigerator. Two plastic bags in the freezer, each containing a human heart, another containing a set of male genitalia.
How do you cook that?
Carefully.
Olive oil?
Deep
In
fried.
the bedroom,
Oh, deep fried.
there was 5 more skulls. Knives and hammers and saws and Polaroids documenting the dismemberments. In another drawer, we found a complete human skeleton. The bones had been bleached, a dried scalp, and then a 57-gallon vat
57.
filled with acid.
They come in 55.
Inside were 3
It's
torsos
I'm just saying, you gotta get it accurate.
in various stages of decomposition, as well as other body parts that he was attempting to dissolve or
Look how close the press line is there. Like, it's right on top
strip
of it.
the
Like,
tissue off the
you couldn't have
bones.
moved them across a block.
Dramatic license.
We don't know. And we should just tell you that based on debris on some of the cooking utensils we found and
my. Oh,
the
my.
marks on some of the body parts, as well as things your son mentioned to us, we believe he ate some of his victims.
Doo-doo.
Are you
So,
hooked?
so this, I'm supposed to be hooked on this?
I mean, I find
What's wrong with everybody?
I find it horribly interesting.
But it's.
I mean, I'm not celebrating him. He's a fucking monster.
But I would.
That's easy to say, Mark.
How a
No,
docu-
that's so
but he
easy
is.
to
I'm not-
say.
But how a docudrama is done makes a lot of difference too. Like that comes across as
or as they say in Milwaukee, a docudrama.
a docudrama.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Docudrama.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
You know,
Dahmer.
Thursday nights are different around here.
That's
Okay.
this. Oh, come on, what?
No, I was gonna say you're right, Karen, but that's what draws people into the story.
We're talking about you, Mark. So just
Whoa,
talk
whoa.
about you. Stop talking about people and talk.
What do you want to know about me?
What's going on?
With what?
In your
Your
head.
obsession.
Your obsession with the series.
Oh, I don't. That's not an obsession.
It's totally an obsession.
You sit here
You're-
and cite statistics, Mark.
I
like
find true crime interesting.
okay.
I don't know.
This is fucking mass murder. Okay, bro.
Yes.
Who's your top 4 serial killers? Because you know them all. I mean, I could say, name me 20. Okay. Name me 20. Name me 12.
do 20.
Name me
I can't
12
do
serial killers without even
I can't do that many.
stuff.
I can't do that many.
Yes, you
Go
can.
ahead.
Hell, your name.
Just go. Just go. Just and go.
Well, you mentioned Zodiac. You have Night Stalker, Hillside Strangler, Green River Killer. We talked about Carl Watts, Dahmer, Gacy. There's that guy in Norway, but does he count? He's off. He's,
Yes,
he's
he
in a
counts.
different
He can-
country.
go on, yeah.
That's all I can do right now.
H.H.
That's eight.
H.H. Holmes.
That's
Yeah.
9.
Games.
Who
The guy that made furniture.
made furniture?
Gaines.
Oh, Ed Gein, and
Gein.
then
That's 10.
Henry Lee Lucas.
11.
That's all. I can do.
No, don't quit. One more, man. Dig.
You can do it.
You can totally do this. You know, like Jack the Ripper.
Did I mention Bundy? I don't
No,
know if I
you
mentioned
didn't.
Bundy. Ted Bundy.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Mark's officially fucked.
Look at you, Mark.
Oh, my God.
So let me.
But don't we learn
We're
things?
gonna have to
Ed
visit
Kemper,
Mark
Ed Kemper,
more.
that's another
Mark,
one.
Mark, are you
13.
Are you intrigued by them and their circumstances? Have you done that or pursued your intrigue? I guess in like
Have you ever thought about
real
being
time?
a serial killer? Mark?
Yeah.
Was he
Come
trying
on,
to
Karen,
provide-
get to it.
No, I'm,
who
I'm
hasn't?
trying to
Red
ask.
will interpret.
Well, let me
How fucked are you, man?
let me say this. Like, have you ever seen any of
You
the
ever
pictures?
put a firecracker up a
Have you-
frog's ass?
Have you ever seen any of the pictures, like from the police department, from the crime scenes? Have you seen?
Sure.
Okay, so those
Yeah, it's
intrigue you
awful.
as well.
It's
Okay.
awful. It's horrible.
Yeah, they are. But I didn't know if you've ever seen, because that's a whole different ball game than what you
horribly
watch on television.
desensitized, yeah.
Okay.
Horribly desensitized because you
I'll
look at it
admit
so
it.
much.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
man. Who's your top 4 serial killers of
Your
of
Mount
all
Rushmore.
time? But remember, it's got to be the 70s.
Well, yeah, because you won't let me use H.H. Holmes.
You
or
can't.
Gein.
You can't. But it's good to bring them up. Honorable mentions.
Gacy
Okay, John Wayne Gacy.
and Dahmer.
Is that your number 4?
Which, fun fact, they hated each other.
Okay.
That's great.
They didn't kill
We
each
just
other.
gave honorable mentions.
Did they
to
know
a
each other?
serial killer.
They did not know each other, but Gacy was put to death when Dahmer was in.
They got caught at the same time.
Gacy was in prison for a long time before he was put to death, and Dahmer was locked up when he was being put to death.
Okay, number 4.
Number 4, oh boy, Henry Lee Lucas.
Henry Lee.
Is that okay? No, you know what? Can I change it already?
No, you can't. Henry.
Already
who's
messed
that?
up. Henry Lee Lucas. There's a good Netflix series. He killed over 100 people.
I think Mark watched this shit 54 million times.
I'm trying to figure. I'm like Grace asked earlier. When does he have time? When do you have time to watch Netflix?
when I'm driving.
When you're driving.
When I'm in
Going up
surgery.
It's part of my job. Yeah, surgery. When I'm experimenting in my basement with the lights low.
When I'm trolling the streets. Go on.
Gacy, Dahmer. I'm gonna go Henry.
Okay, wait,
Lucas.
who's Henry Lee Lucas?
Yes,
That's three.
Texas. He killed a bunch of prostitutes in Texas.
Okay, so Henry
Like
Lee
over
Lucas.
100.
And not
Okay,
Bundy?
number 3 is
3. I'm gonna go with Dahmer.
Dahmer, who killed 17.
Mm-hmm.
And Dahmer, the neighbors saw him drag a 14-year-old back in. The police help him do it.
Yeah.
Although the Dahmer special is incorrect because
There were plenty of this.
Glenda Cleveland did not even live next door. She lived in the next building over.
They also used her as a composite of.
I don't think
other
they needed
people.
to do
They
that.
didn't need to do that.
They
but-
didn't need to do it. It's not creative writing. I mean, it's not good writing when you have to do that. Okay, so Henry Lee Lucas, Jeffrey Dahmer, number 3.
Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy. Tell us a little bit about John Wayne Gacy.
The killer clown. Doesn't everybody know Gacy?
Yes.
I mean, he seriously
Well,
was
you
heavily
do.
involved in Democratic politics in Chicago. He's a man of the people and I think killed 33 people. Dug up his crawl space in his basement, cemented them in. Just a total madman, sociopath.
It's quite interesting, right, Mark?
Now, Mark,
I think so.
a lot of people may not remember this, but what was the name of the serial killer we had here that killed prostitutes?
Carl Watts.
Carl Watts.
Yeah.
So, you know,
What year was that?
Oh boy, that was over the 70s and 80s, right?
Because our serial killer, the latest one, the one that killed women
Yeah.
in the house, the abandoned house,
Yeah,
he was just sentenced today.
Was he?
Yeah, and I just went and got gas at the Sunoco, where when the Ferndale police picked him up with a woman, they were creating a ruckus, so they put him in the car, drove him over the county line to State Fair between 7 and 8, dumped him at the Sunoco. Yeah. And I'm just telling you today that it's so wild at the Sunoco, people are rolling weed at the fucking glass.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. But I go there because it's 55 cents less a gallon.
Right.
I mean, I'm telling you, man.
Are you sure it's
Putin
gas?
ain't beating me,
Are
motherfucker.
you sure it's gas? You're
Speaking
buying?
of serial killers, you can put Putin up there, motherfucker. You didn't
Yeah.
have to do that. But,
Yeah.
okay, so number one.
Number one is going to be the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, for only because
You stole mine, man.
No, you
bullshit.
convinced me when we talked about it because he really had Los Angeles freaked out.
Night Stalker did his shit for a year. And he just broke into shit. Mm-hmm. He didn't give a fuck. Whatever he broke into, he was raping and he was killing and then he was eating out of their fridge. 1 year, 13 people, something like that.
Yeah.
Like a lot. But where's Ted Bundy going all this?
That's
I think
Bundy killed like 100 people.
I think Bundy's overrated.
I think Bundy's
overrated. Whoa.
because he
wait a
killed
minute.
women?
28. No, I don't know.
No, he admitted to 28. They
Yeah.
think he did 100.
Yeah, I don't know, but Bundy's never really interested me that much.
He interested
Isn't that
me.
So is he too commercial for you, Mark?
I liked him. Yeah, I like him before they're cool, like John Norman Collins.
You know, white chicks and he didn't eat them.
Charlie.
I'm serious.
Well,
He just raped him. He raped him, right?
yeah,
And killed him, and then that was that.
yeah.
I mean, 100 women, bro. That don't make your.
It's a pretty basic
Who's this
murder.
Henry Lee Lucas dude?
All right, fine. Take Lucas off and put him on there.
Okay.
But he's
Come back next week, man. I want your production tight, and I want your serial killer list.
I
right.
know. I'm all
You-
messed.
do you
today.
know-
I think I really set the tone.
What about the highway sniper? Remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Remember
drove
him?
around him and a young boy, and he was in the trunk sniping people.
Yep.
John
Yeah.
Muhammad and Lee Boyd
Yes.
Malvo.
Yeah.
Jesus, you are good.
Mark just remembers everything.
Doesn't he?
He does.
Do you know how to cover that?
No, I
When they
didn't.
caught him, like, because they were up in Washington, and so we had to dig through the trash and go to the weird little farms and stuff, and it was 4 or 5 days, and at the end I had to get on the plane, like going back to LA. I had an afternoon flight, but I caught this tip that he used to drink in his bar, like on Fisherman's Wharf, while because it's Bellingham, Washington, this wild west, and I had heard like a bunch of serial killers had drank at this bar, like I don't even remember, like Ted Bundy and
Kenneth Bianchi, one of the Hillside Stranglers.
Hillside Strangler. How do you know that?
Because I found your article.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, in the New York Times.
It had serial killer in it.
I wrote the article. So I'm wandering around outside this bar. It's about 8 a.m. It's open, and I'm like, "Fuck, man, fuck." I mean, how do you when the press shows up? Everybody hates the press because there's like 1,000 of us. Hey, man, the serial killer, man. It's like I'm digging through your garbage, and I'm like, what do I do? How the fuck do I go into this bar like a bunch of roughnecks and shit? I gonna start a conversation, and I remember smoking. Like, what am I gonna do? I need this story. It's too good. And I pull on the handle, and I open the door. I look in, and I yell out, "Hey, is this a serial killer bar?"
That was pretty disarming, right?
Sat down, bought some drinks.
About 20 minutes later, 3 people walked up to him and gave him an interview.
Was the story any good?
I thought the story was great. It's let's see, $2 Bud and a Bundy for every bar stool. That's the headline. That's a great headline.
That's terrible.
Serial killers drank here. They say at the bar on Holly Street. Its name is the Waterfront Tavern. It's a good bar that should not be judged bad simply because some customers misbehave so spectacularly, patrons say today. That is what they said in the mid-'70s after Ted Bundy drank here. Mr. Bundy confessed to killing 20 women. They said in the late 1970s after Kenneth Bianchi drank here before he was arrested in the killing of 2 college roommates. He and his cousin Angelo Buono Jr. were convicted in the Hillside Strangler case in Los Angeles. They said it over a year ago.
Cousins.
I know that's a really you don't see
weird.
teams of
Yeah.
It's a family affair.
Right.
I guess.
I think Bianchi killed 2 by himself. Bloop. There's a little fun fact. Before he brought his cousin.
Mark's like the Wikipedia of serial killers.
Someone fact check me on that.
Yeah.
They said it over a year ago after James A. Kenny, who also drank here, was arrested in the murder of a woman found dead off of Mount Baker Highway.
The highway killer?
Yeah, the highway killer. Yeah, he pleaded guilty. Now it makes me feel bad for leaving the Green River Killer off my list.
The Green River Killer.
Now they're saying John Muhammad,
15.
accused in
16.
the sniper case, drank here. I don't know. We just seem to attract him, said Millie Ulmer, in the early morning bartender. This town is full of drifters, but even so, Muhammad did not look right to me. Little did I know. Bellingham is a jumping off place to the Alaskan tundra and the Canadian wilds. The area is home to hippies, yuppies, militiamen, fishermen, American Indians, and tramps. People brew Applejack in the woods and breed bird dogs. The tavern opens at 6 a.m., the earliest in town. It has bay windows, cheap paneling, and a view of Bellingham Bay. A pint of Budweiser goes for $2 in the morning. All of this is what attracted the other men, say regulars who say they remember Bianchi and Kinney and recount local Bundy lore. The bar is a stone's throw from the mission where Mr. Muhammad and his teenage traveling companion Lee Malvo stayed. Drinks are cheap. Mr. Muhammad drank Budweiser as he whiled away the morning watching cable news and The Price is Right. He looked clean. He was very polite and articulate, said Lynn Farmer, the owner. He always had his own money. He applied for a job, but we threw the application away like we do with all guys from the mission. Is that a violation of equal opportunity?
I think so. It's discriminatory.
Not hiring that serial killer for the mission.
You need a better one.
Not that one, but the other.
Do you have a resume?
Yeah.
Well, I make you great fondue.
Do you have any resources, or are they all dead? Mr. Muhammad did not try to blend in or adjust his personality to charm the locals as Ted Bundy did. He was belligerent, fellow patrons say. He railed against the United States and spoke up for the World Trade Center attackers. I wanted to take him outside when he was cheering for 9/11, said Drew Samdelans, who was drinking this morning before he took his boat out to lay crab pots.
That's a good idea.
I had a gut feeling about the guy, and I wanted to kick his head in, but they probably would have put me in jail. Despite the guest list, people who drank at the waterfront described themselves as warm, well-adjusted. Perhaps it was their accepting attitude, they surmised, that let so many notorious characters feel welcome. Live and let live, says Pete Davis, who is unemployed. Of course, we only know after the fact that they're bad guys. I don't know. Maybe we should name sandwiches after them. It's a good article.
Wow. That's pretty good, Charlie.
A really good article.
That's good. Charlie has had some of the most interesting interviews. I mean, just the stories that he extracts and the way that he does it. I had to pull up the one that you did with the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, Cracker.
That is classic. We ought to play that if you can at some point. That I mean, but just how you're able to, it's just not there's a brown chair. There's this is the person in the chair. This is how that person occupied the room. This is what I don't know. It's just.
That's a whole.
You ought to be a journalist, Charlie. It's good. I mean, when you can see what you're reading or what someone is saying, then you're an excellent writer. And I could see that whole scene as Mark was reading it. So,
well, tell the youngins, you two guys back there, and her, she wants to do it because she studied journalism. 90% of the job is getting in. That's all it is. Getting in. 10% is everything else. Get it right, thinking about it, writing it down. 90% of the job is just getting in and knowing where to get in. Okay? Now, speaking of getting in, I got into Garland Gilchrist's fucking shitty ass.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, man, there's something not right about this thing. And we deserve an answer, and you're not going to give it. And so I'm going to hound your ass. How did you get $200,000 for this house. Shot by Red, edited by Mark.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Is it up?
Here's the Grillcrest house. Now, I'm standing at the former residence of Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, who bought it from the land bank for a mere $12,000. The law says if you don't have it occupied in 6 months, the city take it back. They didn't take it back from him. They let him sell it to some murky LLC down there in Florida for over $200,000 and let him pocket the money. The law also says if you make a profit on it, you got to split it with the city. But the city made up a rule saying, well, since he put 200 in, he didn't make anything. All right? I said, what about the LLC? Don't they got to fix it up? They said, this is 2 years ago, we're satisfied with the progress. Man, there ain't even walls in this shit. There ain't no why. This is how Gilchrist left it. Porch collapsing. This shit ain't, oh my God. Whoops! Mr. Gilchrist, you got some splaining to do. Careful, don't fall through the floor, bro.
What a hustle.
200,000.
Wait the back door.
Look at that shit.
They secured it all right.
You're kidding me.
With a piece of plywood and a piece of lumber to fucking hold it up.
Best security, no money could buy.
Wow. This is how the connected stay connected, how the rich get rich. Shame. And one more question, Mr. Gilchrist. How did you find this LLC out of Florida? I don't believe I ever saw a listing for this house. Know what I'm saying? Answer the question. I told you I wasn't going to drop the situation. Rest of us got to abide by the law.
We did tell him, Karen.
Yeah, you did, Charlie.
Fucking holding it all the way.
But you, that Miami connection.
Dangerous as shit. I can see all the way down to the basement.
Oh, wow.
Do you see a hot water heater down there?
Well, if you can't be a slumlord, you know what they say. Plan B, Lieutenant Governor. Kids live next door, man. Come on, bro. It was all bullshit. Look at it.
They didn't put 200,000 in that house.
No fucking way.
I drove my cigarette out, but I don't want to light the place on fire.
Wow.
That's
rotten.
That's crazy. But
Rotten.
but there's a you hear Florida,
Delaware.
Delaware, but Florida.
With offshore investors.
Just saying, we keep hearing Florida.
I just want to say the background breathing was provided by my out of shape ass.
I was like, what was that? I didn't want to say
that wasn't
anything.
nobody stalking,
that
Charlie.
you?
That was me.
I thought that was the radio in your fucked up car, man. Ty Legacy Partners. We'll see you on Monday.